All right. So I just finished from Uptime, and now we're here. So this is something new that we're trying to, they're going to wrap up, and I think a couple of guys are going to come on here. We're going to treat this a little bit like an after party. We'll talk about some of the things that we discussed in the other channel, and maybe just ran out of time because sometimes, you get tired. Right? And so this isn't going to be too long. We're not going to go too long. This is overtime. You never know when sudden death could be over. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, could be a half an hour. You don't know, but this is why you're here. And I encourage you. They're still going on. I think they're wrapping it up in a couple of minutes, so you can still stick around there. But we want to also talk about a couple of things that are coming down the pipes that perhaps we didn't get a chance to talk about, because, man, you could really have a show for like 3, 4, 5 hours. Like, time just gets away. So, all right. So let's jump in here. If you guys have any questions, if you were on Uptime and you have a question that maybe we didn't answer on that channel because of time, feel free to ask it here. There's not a lot of us on here right now, so this is a good time to ask a question before we get too many people. So again, ask away. One of the things I want to talk about in overtime is a little bit of the Feast of Trumpets that are coming down the pipes in September. It's always an interesting season because whenever you get into the fall, for some reason, people's interests start perking up, and there's so much stuff going on. There's wars, rumors of wars going on, and people are talking about the rapture quite a bit. We talk about it pretty heavy on our channel. Uptime talks about it pretty heavy. And there's something brewing. Like, again, I think most of us, if you were to get us to take a lie detector, I think most of us would go, you know what? I'll be surprised if we're here in 2025. I'll be surprised. That is the consensus for a lot of watchmen. If you said we're going to be here for 10 years, we'd be like, are you nuts? Are you crazy? But 10 years ago, you couldn't say that. Like, it feels like there's a chance that we could be out of here this year. And really, things are starting to pile up. Lots of stuff going on. And it's always like, every time it's like something new. Like, when is CERN going to get activated? Well, October. Okay, when's elections? November. When's this going on? October, November, December. Like, it's always, it seems like everything ramps up. How you doing, brothers? Long time no see.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
You guys are finished. I guess I could have stuck around a little bit longer. I didn't know you guys were going to wrap up that quick.
Yeah, but usually 2 hours.
Yeah.
We have to do, unless we do overtime, but now we have this option over here.
Yes.
I kind of like it because usually what happens, we end up sitting there talking
It's a good format.
Yeah, exactly.
I
and
enjoy
the
that.
talking's like as good as I wish we would have recorded this.
Yes.
Are we live now?
Yes,
We're
we
live.
are. Yeah.
Oh, we are.
We're live.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
great. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Bonsoir, tout le monde du Québec.
We're
Ceux qui
just
parlent
continuing
français.
on.
Bienvenue à Overtime.
You guys
There
see
we
this
go.
picture yet?
Yeah, these
Awesome.
are
Who's
nice.
that? Is that family or who?
It says monkey. You read it?
Oh, no. Yeah, I read it. I can read it.
Yeah, I
Wow.
thought we were up next.
I thought we were up
Oh,
next.
we're up next.
One of them looked like
That's
my
actually
ex-mother-in-law, but that's all right.
Oh, no.
That's how stupid things are getting now, man.
It's true.
Oh, it's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
It's like
It's
really stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
But,
it's lots of stuff going on. And yeah, I think, again, Bob just hit the hammer on the head with the nail. You took that nail and you put it right by the hammer and you started hitting it, or vice versa. The idea is we talk a lot in the back room. After we're done recording, we talk a lot and we're like, oh yeah, did you know this or whatever or this? And sometimes we're on for like a half an hour or 40 minutes. It's actually so we'll kind of treat this a little bit of the back room. You know, you got the champagne out or whatever, you're shaking it up, and you know, we just had success on Uptime. It was fun and everything, and now you get to kind of see how we talk to each other a little bit when we're off the air. There's still obviously some things we can't say, or my channel will get punted. However, there's things that maybe on Uptime that maybe we just missed, and we're like, oh man, if we circle back to that, like Jen Psaki will circle back. Now we can do that as well. If there's something that you want to talk about, you know, that we just finished having a show. So what comes to mind that maybe we can dive a little bit deeper here?
I thought some of the
there is
questions
here.
Yeah, we can do questions
here. I like this question here. It was from Richard Browder. He says, Richard Browder say, actually, yeah, first one here, it says, do you think that the powers that be will ever allow Trump back in the White House? And you know what?
Be right back.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. For sure. You never know what happens on this show, so this is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's at one point if they will set things up in their favor. Look, if they can't take them out, which I think they're finding out now that they can't, and they can't beat them. There's no way they could beat them. So what they're going to do is set this whole thing up here, where when he gets into power, they already know the type of decisions he's going to make, and when he makes those decisions, it will align with their agenda. Somehow, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like for example, okay, have all the illegal immigrants here, okay, and if he gets in there, I'm going to deport them all. Guess what? That's going to start a civil war. They're like, we're not going anywhere. You know, getting their guns ready. Yeah, you come and try to deport us, and all of a sudden it starts a civil war. For example, or a big war, World War III. And we're in the middle of this war now. Trump shows up, like, you know what? I didn't start this thing. I didn't want to, but I'm sure I can
finish it. Yeah, and he's made claims like that on several occasions that I would end the war in Ukraine tomorrow if I was in. I would stop it. And you only make those claims unless you don't make them unless you think you can back them up. So I think you shoot at him, you put him in court, you put him on trial, you threaten his family. He could be a changed man by the time November 5th comes around. He may not be the same guy. Just might not be.
Another question was from Catherine. This is a good one too. I got a good answer for you. It says, are not signs and wonders, eclipses, blood moons, etc. for the Jews? If not, could you explain? Well, they are for the Jews, okay? And they're taking place right now for the Jews. The problem is the Jews are not paying attention to them. We are. We're watching them. It's like, hey, see all those celestial signs taking place? God's getting ready to do something with the Jews. What's God getting ready to do with the Jews, Shane? What's coming up? Daniel's 70th week. So God, you see all these signs showing up. You know, it's like you having a criminal living next door. And police cars start showing up around your house and down the street. I'm like, one, I know they're not here for me. They're here for him.
That's a good illustration. It's very, very similar to the Magi. When they started showing up, they were watching the stars, but who got nervous? Everyone in Jerusalem. Everyone in Judea got a little bit nervous because they weren't paying attention. They didn't understand what they were looking for. And all of a sudden, these Magi are showing up going, where is the king? And it turned the whole city, like they were basically wondering what's going on. Herod was like, who's going to replace me and all this stuff, and then had to kill all the children 2 years and under. But it's almost like that right now with the watchmen, I should say, not the watchers, the watchmen, the watchdog, that we're saying, look at these signs coming down the pipes. Look at these. These are coming. They're not for us, like you said. We're not waiting for any signs. We're just waiting for Jesus Christ to take his church home. And I think we touched on something with the word church. It's so precious because that's who we are. We are part of the body of Christ. We are his flesh, his bones. And when we're out of here, you remove the church, man, they're going to be like going back to Matthew. They're going to be like, okay, let's just look through this. If they're lucky enough, to have a Bible in their hand, it's going to be a manual to tell them when to flee, everything, what exactly they need to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's a great reason. That's a good point. They're getting rid of the word church now. What a great indicator. Because when you start talking about the church, all right, they're going to see it in the Bible. But of course, what do? Oh, I'm going to go online, look it up.
Yep.
What does Wikipedia say? What does this say? What does this website say?
Yep.
You know, and right now the church, they're suggesting, hey, we should probably just change it to something else. Eventually, it's going to be outlawed.
Yes.
The name will be outlawed everywhere.
It would make sense.
Have to change it. If you get caught using it, if your organization is called the church, then you're in trouble. You can't do that. Yep. So this is just another tactic that they're doing right now to get everything ready for the rapture.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see if we have any questions here. Because I know John has to get some sleep sometime tonight. So we got to respect him. Unless he has more coffee. Okay. Yeah. That's true. It's true.
Now, so.
I respect you guys in the East Coast.
John looks like he's wide awake. You don't even have red around your eyes right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at this. I just got a new subscriber.
Amen.
Amazing. All right. Okay. So let's see. I put a question about Iran and Israel. Okay. I have to find you guys. Maybe just put your question in caps or something so I can find them. Sometimes the questions are hard to find. Hey, Pamelina. Awesome. I have a administrator that is able to punt people left, right, and center if she wishes. It's actually a fun superpower when you think about it. Let's see. Or if you guys have a question or whatever that you want to talk about, okay, here's a question.
Okay.
Curious on your thoughts of how things might play out if we are here to see Trump if he is elected. And this is from Kimberly Lou. We just chatted a little bit about it here, but I think, me personally, I think if Trump does get elected, that I think things will change. Like he could be, I don't want to say he could be bribed or bought out or whatever, but man, there are deep seats, like people that are actually controlling the puppet strings. So he could be a change man. I want to lean on the side and say, no, man, this is going to be the best thing for America. And he's going to turn the ship around, turn the Titanic away from the iceberg. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's something inside that says either way, if he gets in or if Kamala gets in, it's not good news. It feels like it.
It's going to be
now live in Chicago. Michelle Mike Obama.
Is
doing a speech
right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're funny. They stuck Biden all the way at the end of the night for a short period of time, but they allowed Hillary Clinton to like talk all night.
Oh wow!
You know. Yeah. So it's just what an absolute clown show circus over there right now. But there's a question here from Coastal Outpost. I saw here from Uptime.
Yeah.
He says, what do you all think about Pastor Perry Stone's tsunami dream prophecy warning today? I did not see that particular video, but he does get some pretty prophetic dreams that usually end up being the case, you know. So there is definitely tsunamis coming. I've had my dreams of these tsunamis. I've had them, and I've seen enough of them on my channel. It got to a point where I made entire categories just tsunami dreams. You go on my website and pdbforme.org. It's the biggest dream vision forum in the world that tracks dreams and visions, because I got to the point where I couldn't keep track of all this stuff, and there's so much information being lost because I didn't have enough time to post it on my channel. I created this forum, everybody to go there, subscribe. It's free to put your email in. And you can post all your dreams, all your visions there, pick categories, put them in there. There are comment section, like buttons, all this stuff, just like YouTube. And you can post all your stuff there. Your videos, you can post your stuff on there. I haven't talked about that website too much. I've been so busy.
What's it called?
edvforme.org.
Mhm.
So it's End Time Dream and Vision, but I call it edvforme.org. So it's EDV, End Time Dream and Vision, EDVFOR me.org. So I'll probably start advertising that more. But if you go there and click on Tsunami Dreams, sit there all night, man. Looking at those dreams. Okay. So I've had my dream about a tsunami, and I remember I was in my home, and it was like really foggy outside, real thick fog, and I heard like a roaring sound coming at me, and salt water is coming through misting through the window of the house. And I was like, I could taste it and stuff. And it was just misting, like a misting. You ever have like a real good storm and you left the window open and the wind curtains are blowing and the water's just misting into the house? That's what it was like. And I knew it was a tsunami coming.
Oh, wow.
And
that was your dream. That was a dream that you had. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I live in Northwest Indiana. So how is that possible? Easy. The New Madrid fault line splits. I have the Gulf of Mexico coming at me at 1,200 miles an hour. That's how it'll happen.
Oh,
salt
wow.
water.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Yeah, we haven't talked about the Madrid fault line for a little bit. But so new wine is always kind of an interesting topic for me. But, we got the Feast of Trumpets coming up in the fall. I think when is it? September something. It's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, October 2nd.
October. So
yeah, we're in the month of October this year. Yeah,
that's interesting because if you think about it, when you correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea behind the idea of blowing trumpets is for Israel to be aware of their sins or be aware of what they've done wrong and to basically go to the priest or whatever, and then they're it basically goes all the way back to Leviticus, where they just kind of remember what they did and they repent and turn and all that. And then they have a feast and all kinds of stuff. Wouldn't it be interesting to have a rapture at that time that they're blowing trumpets and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah. Well, they blow trumpets as a day of remembrance, as a remembrance of God, how God delivered them from Egypt and everything God has ever done to deliver them.
Yes.
And they blow trumpets to thank him for, for the water and everything that they, God blessed their land for crops and stuff like that.
So they're remembering their history of how God came through.
That's you blow those trumpets, it's because you are saying, thank you, God. Thank you. Praise you, God. Because of you, we are who we are. We have what we have. And it's also called the Day of Shouting, too. Okay, that's why the rapture's all over. I mean, I've been watching for 20 years. Okay, since 2004, and the Feast of Trumpets has always been it's always been my day.
Yeah,
it's just like your fail-safe day, man, because you got all these other alignments during the year. You don't want to, but it's like Feast of Trumpets when it comes. I am like extra on edge. That's my highest watch day of the year. Even though I honor an imminent rapture, I do.
Yes,
right. But when Feast of Trumpets comes, I'm like, oh, it's an imminent rapture. So it's not going to be here in the Feast of Trumpets. Yeah, I'm not like that.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, it's and obviously you can have different sounds of the trumpet. Some are to actually assemble everybody in to gather people, and then you blow another trumpet blast, and you're actually going out to march. When they're taking apart the tabernacle and everything, and then maybe a couple quick blasts to say that, hey, imminent, like there's someone that's invading, whatever. Like the generals would basically do that. They would blow trumpets certain different ways, and move horses this way, move the infantry this way, whatever it is. That's how they would do it. In Japan or wherever, they would use flags and all kinds of stuff. That way they could see them and, hey, go this way, whatever. So it's interesting that the trumpets, it's an eerie sound hearing those shofars, and it's an interesting sound at the same time. Like you get the mix of both.
Don't forget the Bible speaks about the voice. And the voice, when you look at the strong link, it can be the voice of somebody. It can be the voice
of authority.
of it can be the voice of a trumpet. It can
Yes.
be a voice. A voice is what the sound makes, right? I say, okay, Frenchie is talking right now. I can hear his voice.
Yeah.
You hear the sound, okay? But if you don't pay attention to the words, it doesn't mean anything to you, okay? But you could hear the sound, right? It's like when the trumpet will ring or sound. Oh, that's how we say it. When the trumpet will sound, you might not recognize the tune, but you will know that it's the voice of the trumpet speaking. How we're gonna hear our name, like we talk, you and me, Mr. Bob, many times. Might be a frequency, might be something. Will he really call me John Luke? Come up here, right? Come over. No, it might be just a frequency. I'm gonna hear the trumpet.
And you'll know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. For sure.
That's true. Shouting, day of shouting, day of blowing. When he Revelation 4:1, I heard a voice from heaven as if it was a trumpet speaking to me. All right. So it's God, he could do it both. And he speaks, it's like a trumpet voice. He loves trumpet, the trump of God. All right. So once again, that's why Feast of Trumpets, man, I love that time of the year. If we make it, all right, if we make it that far, considering everything that's happening right now, and considering this clown show we have of elections coming up, all right, where it's just going to be civil war. I believe you either you got Trump getting in, there will be a civil war. If he doesn't win, there will be a civil war.
That's what it feels like.
Either way, there's a civil war, revolutionary war. But this war and this chaos that will ensue, I've seen in dreams and visions that this all happens after the rapture. Okay.
Correct.
And don't forget about this angel that's been visiting people, according to Global Rapture Watchers, saying back in 2013 that the elections will there'll be a 3:00 in the morning special for the 2020 elections. Essentially what happened, I'm not going to say it right here, and that prediction came true. They also predicted the sickness that will come, lockdowns. And then they said the next election will be more interesting because it'll be interrupted by the rapture. All right. So if they nailed all that other stuff, Shane, why would they get the rapture part wrong?
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's one that maybe I could rely on the experts here. Bob, could you please talk about the Shemitah? Is it relevant to us today? And how about a mid-Shemitah rapture?
Right. So the Shemitah cycle is a 7-year cycle. Okay. And I'm beginning to learn now that the calendars suck. Just like John's been saying. These calendars,
like they're all mixed up, right? Like we don't know which is the true calendar kind of idea.
And because I thought the Shemitah cycle began in 2022 or 2021 back then. But you think you're looking at these shift in the financial markets and stuff like that, but that could be arranged. That could be arranged by human, they could dump the market anytime they want.
Right.
There was a makeshift Feast of Trumpets day that was a false day. And you know what they did? It wasn't the Feast of Trumpets, but you know what they did on that day? They dumped crypto.
Oh, wow.
They dumped all the crypto one day. I thought, weird, So they're able to do that stuff. So when is the beginning of the next 7-year cycle? All right. I honestly cannot tell you for sure now. I thought I used to know. I don't know now. Because all of my research has gotten people. I don't regret the research I did on it because a lot of people got saved. A lot of people came to the vineyard. A lot of people got on the boat. Because of that research. Amen. But I think now that this 7-year cycle, I think we're on the verge of it getting started here. I mean, what do you think, John?
Like I always say, okay, and you mentioned it, you made me laugh. The calendar, our Gregorian, so well done calendar by the Alexandrian, and the Romans changed it, and there was so many things change about that calendar. remove 0.3 days so we can get 365. Then we're going to add 1 day, and then we do it. Okay, I don't trust with a 20-foot stick our calendar. I don't trust it. I don't believe it. Okay, for me, it's summertime. Perfect. It's summertime. Winter will come when I see the snow. That's it. Okay, the calendar is there, okay, for appointments, stuff like this. But I don't think that our calendar is what will God use. God use his calendar first. So I'm still itchy about the numbers of the Jews for their calendar year. But what I'm watching is the Jew in their seasons. What are they doing now? What's happening with them? Right now, they are at war with Hezbollah and also down south with Hamas. This is a garbage. This is thing. But we know from many verses that it's all coming to an end. All right. So we look at this right now, and unfortunately, Bob, I cannot believe our calendar, like I told you. And how would I put it? When you have a fuse on a firecracker, once it's light up, you run, and then you say, "Oh, my dad doesn't want me to play with firecrackers tonight. I should go back and extinguish it."
Right.
Wrong answer. Okay.
Wrong answer. Yeah.
It's gonna crack in your face. So that's how I think we are. It's a tinder box right now. That's what I look at the calendar as, a tinder box.
Right.
Very volatile, gasoline, flammable, everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I see it. That's my perception, only my perception of what is going on. According to the scripture, when I look at that, it tells me that, don't buy bananas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I've seen Aaron, I got a minute now. He does a pretty good job trying to track this stuff. Yeah. And basically, we are looking right now at the beginning of the 7-year Shemitah cycle right now. Right about now, which would make sense, because if it's about to begin, then all the stuff that's happening all around us right now wouldn't make sense. Okay. They have a 7-year agreement, which is on the table, the Abraham Accords. Okay. I believe they've already sacrificed their heifers.
Yeah, because it got pretty quiet after that, didn't it?
I believe that.
Interesting.
So they got a bunch of stuff lined up. Then you got these freaks coming down from the sky. You have lockdowns coming. Global lockdowns on the verge. We have this clown show of our politicians doing the stuff in Chicago and our elections, all this crazy stuff. You have the Olympics. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I don't think we can sustain this. I don't think this is sustainable for another 7 more years or 3 more years.
Yep.
I don't think it's sustainable. No. And I know Messiah 2030 does a great job and breaking down a lot of stuff pointing towards 2030, 2031, give or take, for Jesus' return. Okay. So, and then Aaron got a minute, same way. So everybody's on board for 2030, 2031. So I'm assuming that we were off with these Shemitah cycles by a few years, I think.
And also from the Bible, the end time, everything that is in 24 Matthew and all that stuff. If I would be a Jew, I would look at this because it's for me. If I would be a Jew, I'll look at this, and Jesus himself says it's going to be like a woman in travail. I'm talking to women tonight. Women, where are you? All in the chat and everywhere, okay? When you are pregnant, besides the fact of a cesarean or whatever you call it.
You have a cesarean.
Yeah, just the regular giving birth, okay? Your doctor says, okay, 5th of June, you will be giving birth. And you look at it, you say, okay, that's going to be about 38, 39 weeks. And all right. How many times that pinpoint right on the date? It's a little bit earlier. It's a little bit later. It's in the night, in the day,
Never get it.
How do you gauge, if I may say, your pregnancy? Well, by what's going on with with your body, what's going on with the contraction. At the beginning, it's one contraction every 5 days. By the end, it's every 5 seconds. Okay, so you gauge yourself by how physically you're doing in travail. Women, am I wrong? I don't know. I don't see the chat. I haven't pulled up the chat. But if ever it's wrong what I'm saying, let us know. But you don't gauge yourself by that date. Doctor said 5th of June. I must be there 5th of June. No.
I'll explain it, how it works, how babies are born. No. I've had 3 kids. So the interesting thing is when Jesus said, like there's going to be wars, rumors of wars, and things seem to be escalating. Once the water breaks, the baby's coming. And I think that's what Jacob's trouble is going to be like. Once the water breaks, once the seals are broken, everything, there's no stopping it now. There's no more, we're going to delay it a little bit more.
Maybe that's your tsunami.
Yeah, it could be a bit of everything. And it's like when the water breaks and you're taking your wife to the hospital, they're talking about centimeters dilated, all this stuff. It's like you can't push the baby back in and say, come back in a week. You can't do that. And I think that's the same thing with Jacob's trouble is once it starts, the dominoes start falling one after another. Bang, 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 bang. Like Bob said, everything that was predetermined until Christ, if Christ didn't come back, there would be no flesh saved. He has to come back before the 7 years are over, like probably just right on the verge. That's why everyone's going to mourn. Every eye is going to see the one that they pierced. And it's going to be a horrible time like no other time in the history of mankind. This is why we're telling people every day on our channel, get your heart right, repent, return, come back to God, all this stuff. You need to know who Jesus Christ is. Don't put it off.
No.
That's the common theme.
Those who are in age enough to see that, I don't know. In Canada, we did have that when the show were done after the news at night. We had that color target of black and white in my time.
Yeah.
And, stop of transmission. That was it. That was done for the day.
I remember those.
Right?
I remember those.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know there was an Indian chief head for the United States, some stations, stuff like this. Now they're 24/7.
Yeah.
But back then, by 11 o'clock, 11:30, that's it. We're done with the.
I remember staying up with my uncle, who's like a year older than me, and we would stay up to watch Godzilla because Godzilla would come on at like 2:30 or something in the morning or 2 o'clock. And I would be waiting and trying to put toothpicks in my eyes to stay awake because I want to watch Godzilla. And then I'd fall asleep, and then all of a sudden there's nothing on.
That's right. So that is coming up. That's what's the next step when everything is done. For us, the rapture will be there. Okay.
Notice
when the show will begin again after the rapture, of course. It's going to keep going, right?
Yep.
Then it's going to be a different programmation.
You're
right.
Sure. What were you going to say, Bob?
Notice how there are these global events taking place now. You guys hear how every single social security number of every American and people of many other countries with similar numbers have all been compromised. Not half of them. Not
I heard about something like
not
that.
Just in California. All of them have been compromised. So what do you think they're getting everybody prepared for? Now, I don't think that's true, but they put that out there. And essentially, look, think about it. It's like, well, Shane, your Social Security number has been compromised, which means they're probably just wiping everything out about you. And the Social Security number is kind of an outdated thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to have this new global community where everybody has an internet ID. Okay. Thanks to Obama. You're going to get internet ID that will replace your Social Security. Okay. You're like, okay, I guess I can get along with that. Great. Now, all you have to do is worship that image over there, put this mark in your right hand forehead, and then you get your internet ID. And you
It could be that
off.
simple. It could be that obvious too, right? Like we're like, that'll never happen. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, you got a Jiffy marker. What number is that you're putting up? Wait, what? No, I don't accept it. Well, there's a guillotine down the street if you want. It's up to you. It's your call.
But they're trying to show you that, hey, our social security numbers are garbage.
It's compromised.
Okay. I was like, yeah, it's a social security number, but that number is useless unless you have a lot of that number is tied to.
Yeah.
If you are somebody that's 10 years old and don't have a bank account, don't have credit cards, don't have nothing, like they got your social security number. And kids are like, so what are they going to do with it?
Yeah. I'm not a number yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that valuable. But if you have a lot of wealth, you have all this stuff, say, hey, Shane, you don't want to lose all that wealth you got.
Yep.
If you get this new internet ID, we can transfer all your stuff over.
Yeah.
We can recover it. You can get all your stuff back, wealth, everything go right back to normal, except you just have to accept the fact that your social security number no longer exists.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, but you got to take the mark in right hand and forehand to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the catch. So one line, one little final thought, because I think we're losing John. I think we're losing him. At least I know I'm actually tired a little bit.
I'm searching
a little tired. Yeah. So let's because I want people to come here after Uptime. If it goes 4 hours, I don't know. What's interesting is people will actually stay on after this is over. And sometimes what I do is a bit of an encore. I leave and I leave it running. And then I come back and I see people on, and then I'll come back and talk to them for a couple of minutes.
Yes.
Then I go away and I come back and then I say, this time I'm leaving. Drop the mic. Boom. Right. So it's kind of like Marvel Comics, right? So just final thoughts, it could be anything you guys want. We'll start with the watchdog. Ow, and then Bob. Final thoughts. Take your time. Go as long as you want. That was
Go ahead, Mr. Bob.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go first.
Sure, we could do Bob, then the watchdog.
So yeah, a lot of weird things are happening right now. I guess I could just make some of the points, a list of points that I didn't make on Uptime, that we just never got around to it. So it'll kind of be kind of all over the place here. But I think these are all signs that are pointing towards our soon departure and all the crap that we're about to head into here in the next 3 months. Okay. One, Trump's plane was sabotaged. The door was sabotaged. Okay. His plane, the planes of his administration right now, the Trump Force 1 and 2, okay, having all types of issues now. Only their planes are, of course. All right. Two, I saw a video of Laura Ingraham from Fox shape-shifting. Okay. Big old lizard tongue coming out of her mouth. All right. And then third row of teeth come out, There's something about her I didn't quite understand, but I know essentially these are your reptilians or whatever, trying to keep their skins on. All right, but their coating isn't quite working that well sometimes, where they'll like glitch, So they haven't quite got it down right. They haven't quite got the recipe right. Joe Biden's information got scrubbed from the internet everywhere because they're planning on getting rid of him completely. If you haven't noticed how they scrubbed him from the DNC. Okay, so now all his little quotes and one-liners and him eating ice cream cones and all that stuff like that, you're going to see all that stuff gone. Pittsburgh is doing a daily purge. This is a fun one. Pittsburgh's doing a daily purge 4 hours a day from 3 to 7 a.m. where nobody will take any police calls. You're anything you need. If you're getting shot at, getting chased, someone's breaking into your home, whatever, you're not going to get any help. It's just going to go to voicemail. All right. And I believe this is what they're going to do. It's starting in Pittsburgh, but it's going to start to spread. It's going to go from 3 to 7. And it's going to go from 12 to 7. And It'd be 8 hours a day, and then 16,
So is
24.
this like
eventually it's all the
purge,
time.
like purge or something,
Yeah,
or
it's
what?
like purge. You
Mhm.
get away with anything you want.
Wow.
And I think they're doing this to make way for the illegal immigrants to begin taking power of this country in different cities. So they're slowly allowing them to get in there. Remember, they say, "Oh, we need to get rid of all the police. Too many police officers." The whole deal back in 2020, the summer of love. We need to get rid of the police. This is why they wanted to get rid of them, because they could replace them with all these warlords and thugs, and that's what they're doing now. It was all planned. It's all engineered. You got Colorado apartment buildings being ambushed now, and they're completely taken over by Venezuelan gangs.
Yeah.
All right. Essentially, you're looking at right now is the absolute fall of America.
Yes.
And the fall of America, when America falls completely, the whole world goes absolutely upside down. Because believe it or not, we're still holding everybody at bay, John.
Yeah.
America's fall, I believe, is also simultaneous with the hand of restraint being removed.
Mhm.
So if all this stuff is
quick.
happening, right, John? I mean, right, Shane and John?
It could happen quick.
Yeah, it won't be long. I mean, it'll be overnight, next morning. Okay, so I believe the signs that we're seeing right now with America, you got a 7.0 earthquake in Russia, outages in Lebanon, water springing up in Saudi Arabia, turning it into a lush paradise over there now.
Mhm.
Saudi Arabia, the driest desert in the world. And that's actually in the Bible, where Bible says where he'll spring up waters from the deserts and stuff like that. I think it's in Jeremiah, something like that. So all that is kind of like the points I didn't make on Uptime. But I say all that because this stuff is happening because we're going towards a turning point in history, which would be the beginning of Daniel's 70th week.
That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So, question from Jeffrey: if Damascus was about to get nuked, do you think we would see it or be raptured away first?
At this point, it's possible that we see it. Because right now, like I said, all this site there is like a tinderbox. It smells gasoline. It's very volatile. And it needs only one spark. I think when we were young, my father was always telling us, all we need is a crazy guy that's going to push on the button, right?
Yeah.
I think we do have that. I think we're ready for that.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the Samson option tonight either.
Yeah.
I don't
know. You cannot punch on Jews forever, for 80 years now, and punching and punching and punching and punching without expecting something in return. Something will come out. Okay. Don't underestimate the Jews. Okay. Israel do have a what's that type of bomb? That one, it explode.
It's like a cluster bomb or whatever, where it just goes.
No, but it just removed the oxygen. Everybody
dies.
Everybody dies, but no building or destroy or anything.
Right. Just sucks everything right out.
So they do have that technology. Okay. Yeah, it sucked the air and of course you cannot stay 30 minutes without breathing.
Yeah, I forgot what that one was called.
Yeah, they do have that. Okay.
Yeah.
That in a sense is worse by killing people, because if you're close to a nuke, it's a pink mist. It's a vaporize. It's not even a microsecond. It's gone. That's it.
Yep.
But the other one, unfortunately, you do feel that you're gonna die. Yeah. Unless you're a diver in the water for 30 minutes, that's the only way. But that's a lot of gambling to be there in water with your bucket of mac and cheese.
So it's called a vacuum bomb.
Yes, it does remove all the oxygen. Everything dies. Animals, plants,
horrible.
Everything.
Yep, it's horrible. What were you gonna say, Bob? About I mentioned the Samson option. Like that's almost like a suicide thing for Israel to just destroy everybody, the whole Middle East and stuff. So the question would be like, would they do it to themselves, or would they go hide in bunkers and then come out, and then there's just a few of them left, and then more nations attack them. I don't know.
That's the big thing everyone's looking for now. Israel's big hit, the death shot of Israel. That's what everyone's looking for. That's what everybody's getting prepared for. The big day when Israel gets destroyed. And they think that they could just surround Israel, get all the proxies, get all the missiles, 200 missiles at the northern border alone. All right. So essentially, they're probably 200,000, as I meant, at the northern border alone. So they're probably in the neighborhood of dealing with somewhere between 700,000 to 800,000 missiles for the entire country. Now, I know the Iron Dome is great, but it's not going to stop all of them. No. So that's the big day. So what's going to happen on the big day? Well, we got a big day coming up too. That's the Rapture Resurrection event. And where do we meet up? We meet up above Jerusalem. Interesting. So you mean to tell me that there's going to be a meeting of billions of believers in glorified forms right above the city Jerusalem? I'm like, yeah. So if we're all there and when they launch all those missiles, what's going to happen to all those missiles? Because we're all standing there praising the Lord. Those missiles aren't going to get through. And I think, honestly, that'll be our final gift to them, to make them jealous when God retrieves us from the earth and removes us, and on our way out we save Israel by deflecting all those missiles. Okay, it could be, I could be wrong. It could be it's either us or it's going to be Michael the Archangel that does it. One of us are going to do it.
Right. Yeah, because we do know for a fact that Israel will never get disintegrated, but in Zechariah 14, 2/3 are destroyed. 2/3 of Israel. So something is going to happen to cause them to retreat. It could be the exhaustion of the Iron Dome, David's sling, arrow, all these weapons just get depleted, and then all of a sudden they're getting captured left, right, and center. But God's not going to forget about them. But you can't have Jacob's trouble without having trouble for Jacob. Like that's the whole name. It starts with Israel first. And this is how you get them saved. This is how you purge them out of this, is because there was no remedy. It says that in Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. You guys have pushed it too far that now I got to come up with a plan. I have to intervene. And I'm going to use my branch, which is Jesus Christ. And I'm going to join the two nations. But it's going to be because I do it, not because of your righteousness or anything, because no one is sticking up for Israel. You could say the U.S. is sticking up for Israel. Nobody's sticking up for Israel right now. No one. Only God is sticking up. And you could argue us Christians, but even then we're even divided on it, right? But God has a plan for Israel. That's the most important thing. And it has nothing to do with how righteous Israel is. It has everything to do with his promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Amen.
Right. Yeah, I think Damascus, that's going to be the first one to go. I think Damascus has to be the first one that's going to be hit. All right. Because when they get hit, guess what? The whole world is going to light up with, first of all, the name Damascus, the prophecy of Damascus. The name Damascus will be resonated all over around the world. We're all going to get on these live streams. We're going to say, hey, it's time. It's time. It's like our final call when that happens. And I think God's going to give it to us. That'll be our final call, because that will be the one nuke that goes off before the nuclear war, according to Philip Barnett's vision, where he saw the nuke go off in the east. And then after that, there was a massive nuclear exchange between everybody else. So that's a shot across the bow, I believe.
No, for
sure. Damascus.
For sure.
Because if Damascus gets destroyed after LA, Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Miami, all right, and every other city and every other town in this country and in other countries, and all of a sudden you have a nuke that gets dropped on Damascus about 3 or 4 weeks later or a year later. They all say, oh my goodness, we dropped a nuke over here. Everybody get worked up about it. I'm like, why? You got a city that already looked like Swiss cheese before the nuke was even dropped on it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Look around. What's happening? They don't care
Yeah.
about Damascus. So
Yeah.
that prophecy of Damascus,
Mm.
I think that's the first one to go
That's
off.
the center pin kind of idea.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the plug-in to light up the Christmas tree.
Yep.
That's what I think too.
Good way
Yeah,
of
I
looking
agree with you guys.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to go. It's 1:00 now, almost.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is overtime. No, for sure. Fair. We're
Well,
basically
We
done.
did
We're
answer
basically
more
done.
questions and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Of
loved
course, you do have customers, Shane, that are in different time zones.
Yep.
Okay. Unfortunately, Newfoundland is the first one to go to bed and usually the first one to wake up. All right.
Yep. Yep.
It's 1:00 for us. So,
Wow.
right.
The party's
We
just
have
getting
half an
started
hour
over here.
earlier than everybody.
Well, you
All
can get
right,
the party
guys, have
going,
a
Brother
good
Shane.
one. Take care, and God bless you both very
Thank
much.
you, brother. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Awesome. All right. Now that he's gone, we can talk.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Thank you as well,
Mhm.
Brother Bob, for being on here. Love you, of course. You know that.
Amen,
And
brother.
we had a good time on Uptime as well. Like I like the feel, I like the vibe of it tonight. And this is sometimes what we talk about after the show's over. We're like, how did you guys think? What did you guys think? And I'm like, you know what? There was a good vibe tonight. Good brotherly connection. Like we actually, I'm going like this. We didn't do this. We're like this. We actually, I felt we gelled, brother Bob on there as well. He always has insights. Greg lays the hammer down as well, keeps us in order as well. And he's got a soft spirit about him, which is kind of nice, right? And then Michael, of course, talking about the ministry, giving out Bibles, and then just helping people out, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of a nice, and then of course you got the watchdog. Right. And then you
Nice mix.
you basically, you just kind of you put a nice little bow on everything as well. So it's kind of nice. It was a good show tonight. So thank you.
Yep. So all right, brother.
Yeah, you have a good night.
Yeah, you have a good night. Everybody else here, have a great night. It was fun doing this. We actually went for almost an hour. Did we actually start on time?
Pretty.
Did we start?
Yeah, pretty, because you guys came on right away after. I was actually surprised how fast you guys came on.
Well, it's either I sit there and talk for an hour over there, or I come over here and talk. So.
Exactly. Yeah, we usually talk in the background for like an hour. It's so funny, actually.
I know it worked out. It's like nothing's different here. It's like actually I probably talked a little bit longer than I normally would. It's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. That worked out good. That's a great idea. I think we'll probably continue to do this unless I'm really wiped out for some reason.
Exactly. Same, right?
Yeah. Amen.
No,
all right. God bless you, brother. God bless everybody.
All right.
See you all with this next week or this Sunday, actually.
Yep.
Rev 5.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that plug. Awesome. All right. Have a good one. I'll see you later.
God bless. Take care.
Yep. Bye. I don't know why I always like saying now that he's gone, but it's actually kind of funny. So I'm going to wrap this up. You know the drill. I'm going to go. And thank you guys for being on here tonight. Love you guys a lot. We had fun. Hope you guys got something out of this. We call it overtime, something new just to come on after Uptime goes on. Spend a half an hour or so. Try as hard as we can to answer your questions. And then, of course, if you have something that maybe, just maybe, we didn't answer or talk about or whatever it is, just go to right here. Black Swan Diary 2022 at gmail.com. If you want to buy any of my merch, I got to do a shameless plug. Just go to my store. You can buy pillows. Those seem to be hot tamales. For some reason, people are buying the pillows. I thought they would have bought the tumblers, the steel tumblers, the pullovers, but people like the pillows. Maybe it's because they put a pillow behind them and then they watch the show on their couch or from the comfort of their living room. Who knows? I don't know why. They're just buying them. So go check out the pillows. And I'm going to give you guys some nice, sweet chin music for the way out. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye for now. Well, that's not good music. There we go. There we go. All right. See you later. Of course, I had to give myself a shameless plug. Of course, I had to tell you guys to donate to this channel. Feel free to donate $5, $10, whatever you want, that kind of thing. This is kind of an encore little tradition that we have. Basically, I come back on, and if there's one little question, yeah, I'm all out of coffee right now. If there's one question, we'll take one question. There's something that you want that's on your heart, on your art. One thing. Yeah, this is like one big party here. Can I get a mug like this one? These are special mugs. These are special. Very rare, very rare. Unless they send a mug of maybe with coffee in it, a little bit of coffee, I could package it up or whatever, and then you can actually have the mug that I drink out of, and then I'll just make it like, I don't know, $400 or something like that for this mug. If you wanted it, I wouldn't even wash it for you. I wouldn't even wash it. I'll just put it in a box with some styrofoam, and then it's yours. But these ones my sister Crystal made, and Amy helped out. She shipped them out to some of the people on Uptime. I guess Bob's broke. I got to get him another set. So maybe what I'll do, if you guys are interested in this kind of thing, I have to figure it out. It's expensive to ship it from here to the US, just so you guys know. But if you're willing to cover the shipping, it's quite possible that I can get some more of these made up, and then I wouldn't charge you very much for the cups. And then if you cover the shipping, I could just send them out. But I think the logical way to begin is just to see if there's a little bit of an interest. And then I can ask my sister Crystal, hey, can you make some more of these mugs? Because I like them, man. When I get up in the morning and I have a devotion, I fill this thing up. I turn on the coffee pot. I get this thing ready, and I open up my Bible. It's just a habit. If you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, you need to build triggers as part of your habits. So for me, as soon as I have coffee or I smell coffee percolating, I'm looking for my Bible. That's my habit. That's been developed over the last 2.5 years. I don't miss in the morning. I read every single morning, but it's only because this is a habit now, and it starts with coffee. Now, you could do that with a water bottle or whatever it is. For me, a trigger knowing that I'm going to be going on to a live stream is I'm looking for my water bottle, because this is my favorite water bottle. I fill it up, and I don't know, it's kind of nice. Anyways, if you guys want a mug like this, It'll be extremely discounted. The idea is to get the mugs out there, but I got to pay for the cost for my sister to actually make them, so I won't be making anything on them. But if you're cool with covering the shipping and handling, I think there's a way to do it. So just let me know. Just email me, blackswandiary2022@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can buy, there's mugs. There's actually some nice mugs on my store. It's actually pretty cool. So anyways, let's see here. What are we talking about here? Let us know. Interested. Yeah, just email me. Let's see. What's this one here? This is from Paul Housen. 144,000 of Jewish people, 12,000 each tribe. Of the 12 tribes shall become believers in Christ during the wrath and will preach. I think they are already believers when they get sealed. It's kind of what I feel, except for the tribe of Dan and the tribe of Ephraim, I believe, are not in. They're not in those 144,000, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I've always wondered, like, it was a bit of a mystery. Why isn't Dan in the book of Revelation? Why weren't they sealed? And why isn't Ephraim? And when you think about Ephraim, is this some music annoying? Sometimes it's kind of annoying. I can't think. All right. Wow. It's actually quiet right now. But when you think about the tribe of Dan, Dan wasn't happy with their area allocated to them by Joshua. Joshua allocated some land to how many tribes? I want to say like 4 tribes. So you had the tribe of Reuben, you had the half tribe of Manasseh, and then you had Gad on this side of the Jordan. They got allocated that land before they went into the promised land, and that almost caused a bit of a civil war after they conquered Canaan, or some of Canaan was conquered. It was never fully conquered until Solomon. But you get the other tribes on the other side that didn't have any land yet allocated to them. So instead, what Joshua did is he sent a bunch of people out, and he's like, based on your size and like how many people you have, all this kind of stuff, I want you guys to pick an area, and then we're going to cast lots to see who gets what based on their size. And Dan came out holding the shorter stick, if you will, and they weren't happy with what they had. So then a little bit later I think it was, when was it, in the book of Judges, where they basically moved camp and they started heading north. And that's where they acquired a Levite priest to be with them instead of a guy that was from the tribe of Ephraim, because he was by himself and he had an idol and he had a priest. They're like, wouldn't you rather have a bunch of people to be a priest for? So he said, sure. Joined up with the Danites. They moved north and they found an area just outside, I guess it would be the northernmost border. And they came across a peaceful nation that were too far away from anyone else to come and help them. So they brought back a report. They said, look, these people they're at peace. They're unarmed. So let's go take them out. So then the Danites moved in on the northern part of Israel, took over that whole area, slaughtered them, and then took it over. And I wonder if maybe that was part of the reason, because then one of the golden calves got set up in Dan, and then the other one was also in, I want to say, Bethel by Jeroboam, the first king of Israel. You might be saying, Shane, what do you mean the first king of Israel? The first king of Israel after they split. Because they split after Solomon's day, basically 10 tribes stayed to the south. 10 northern tribes were called Israel or Ephraim. And the southern tribes were basically known as Judah. And that would be Judah and Benjamin, and also the Levites, which were actually evicted out of Israel, northern Israel. It's not northern and southern Israel. Some people say it like that, but it's actually Israel and Judah is the way you look at it. They kept the name Israel. Judah changed their name to represent their tribe, Judah. And it's just kind of interesting. But yeah, so Dan was not there, and Ephraim, it's kind of interesting that he is not in the 144,000. So I think because they're hanging around with Jesus. They're hanging around with him. So I think they were Christians. So just my humble opinion. Hope you guys got something out of that. That was just kind of a little bonus round. So let's see if we can get some good music here. No. There, this one's a nice one to exit gracefully. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in another video.